And we are live. Hopefully everyone can hear us. We'll find out.
Hello, everyone. Yes, welcome. This is the RP Geeks, and you are joining us for Chapter 1 of Urchins! Exclamation mark. You have to represent the exclamation
Jazz
mark.
hands.
It is
Jazz hands.
very important. I'm really excited for this series. This is a 6-part series. We're using Kids on Bikes with some slight tweaks because first off, we're in Victorian London for this series, and second off, our little eponymous urchins. There's something unusual about them. They're not quite what you might expect from from a typical London ragamuffin. But we will find out more about that very, very soon. First off, I think we should meet our players. I will start off a fellow RP geek, Fiona.
Hello, fellow RP Geek Shamini. Nice to meet you
How we
again.
talk to each other normally.
It's how we talk normally. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns. And today I will be playing Edwina, or Eddie, who is the youngest little rapper-scamp ragamuffin. It's super cute.
No, I was going to say, I don't think that's a
It
word.
is now.
I think Eddie calls himself a
Writing that
rapper-scamp. But yes.
So a rapscallion plus scamp.
Rapper-scamp.
Yes, rapper-scamp.
Rapscamp.
But yeah, that's who I'm playing today. I'm playing the youngest of our 3 urchins, and yeah, I can't wait for you to properly meet her. And she also uses she, her pronouns as well. I'm going to throw it over to Folarin. Catch, go for it.
Oh no! If you couldn't tell, that was excellent space work in which I demonstrated that I tried to catch the thing, but then it slipped through my fingers.
Oh no!
Oh, it's a metaphor.
Oh no!
It's a metaphor. Wait, define a metaphor, Shamini.
It's what's slipping through his fingers. Is it the whole intro? I don't know. It's tragic, whatever it is.
I agree. It is tragic.
Yes.
And speaking of tragedy. No, the opposite of tragedy. My name is Folarin Akinmade, and I am playing Will, and my pronouns are he, him, which are also Will's pronouns. And I am a scowlywag.
Oh,
no.
cute! Yes, yes. We'll
Oh,
make
it's
it. This isn't going to be a thing now. We have new names and new things,
very
and Zack has to go
really
last.
important. Rules of 3. You have to. You have to.
No.
Really put you on the spot there. Oh,
Yes.
All right. Hello, I'm Zack. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Theodore, or Theo, the eldest of our motley little crew. He is a real trouble wangler.
Oh, nice. Amazing.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, good. I have no notes.
Troublemonger.
Troublemonger.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Troublemonger. That's
Yeah.
Lives.
The eldest of our motley little crew of reprobates and scoundrels / children.
Lovely. Which just leaves myself. I'm Shamini. Hello, I use she, her pronouns. And I will be your Fate Weaver for today. I will weave the fates of these 3, and we shall see where our story takes us. But I think if there's nothing I've forgotten, it might be time to dive in to Urchins! There will come a time when...
We need to give us a countdown so that we can be ready.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Also, there's going to come a time when it's a really serious point, and then it's just going to be really jarring. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll deal with it when we get there. We'll do some practice
We
ups.
contain multitudes. It's fine. We'll make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to start on the streets of London with Will. You are looking at a cigar, a very fine cigar in a box, and you don't know how much cigars cost, but you're pretty sure that even one of these cigars could feed you and your little family for a week, multiple weeks. How much do rich people spend on cigars? A lot. And as you look at it, it starts to smoke. You see embers, and then you see flames, and then it is fire. There is fire and anger filling your mind. More fire than a cigar could possibly form, just surrounded by it, and the anger and the fire seem to be one. And you hear a scream, a child, maybe a young girl, just on the edge of what you're aware of. And you are brought sharply back to reality by the click of a door opening, and you are standing on the steps of a very fine house. You are holding this box. You quickly put the lid back on, and in front of you stands a butler servant, very, very smartly dressed. Again, those clothes probably worth a decent amount. And you hand over the box of cigars. This is a house you've been to before. This is a place you've done deliveries to before for the people that you work for. And there's no message. There's just this gift. There's just this box of cigars. Would you like to describe Will for us?
Yeah. Will is a sort of young black boy, like sort of fairly scrawny and sort of short for his age. I think he's 12 going on 13, a fact which is very important to him, something he will talk about a lot. Sort of dressed in like fairly simple clothes that are all just a little bit too big for him, very clearly things that he's managed to scrounge from various bits and places. The only thing that he wears that seems in any way new is probably his little newsboy hat. And I think sort of this, I think in this moment, this sort of dark-skinned boy sort of hands over this this object and looks up at this butler and just kind of can't help but, as he kind of hands over this item that probably feels so kind of frivolous to the people that he's giving it to, but could mean such a could be so important, could absolutely, like, I don't know, as you said, give him and his family food for a week. I think he just kind of can't help but, rather than as he normally would, which is like avert his gaze as he sort of hands the things over, I think he just kind of looks the butler in the eye and it's just like, "You're right, governor."
There's definitely this like slight sense of snootiness. There are levels, and you are below on the levels, below on the steps of this fancy house, which is, again, it's sort of part of a long terrace of similarly sort of white, clean-fronted fancy houses, and the butler somewhat reluctant. Any message?
Any message? Nah, no message. But is your master going to enjoy that? And I think he puts a particular like sneer as he says master, just almost to kind of remind him like, you're looking down your nose at me, but both of us are below the sort of people above us in this social hierarchy.
Well, that's not for you to know. And he closes the door in your face. I think there's a brief sort of glance around as well, like making sure like no one else has seen this chap come into the door.
I think even as the sort of door is closed, he just goes, "Well, all right then, you have a nice day, sir." And he like kind of shouts that both so that the sort of butler will sort of hear it, but anyone else around might take a look. And then I think in that moment kind of, collects himself and is very aware of the fact that so much of his value and his trade is in kind of not being noticed. So he sort of, after that, like, pulls his hat down a bit lower, pulls up his jacket collar, and then just sort of wanders away.
We're in quite a relatively affluent, certainly street here in London. There's a lot of mixture of rich and poor and middle class, all sort of shoved in together in various places. But this street overlooks a nice park. But as you wander back to the library, will you roll something for me? But what?
Ooh,
Let me remember what the
What
stats
could
in
it-
this game are.
what could it be?
So there's fight and flight and brains and brawn and charm and grit.
Oh,
There's
this is
a
the musical
song
Musical
episode.
for
number.
it.
This is the opening musical number.
Yes,
Oh, okay, sure.
there's a song. I know.
In which case, what's up, governor? Is I'll just kind of add a little bit of a what's up, governor.
Governor.
Urchins! Exclamation mark.
You know, can I ask actually before you do ask me to roll, can I actually ask a question that might interrupt this?
Yes.
I've been here a couple of times. Do I know the master of this house?
What I will say is that the things that you deliver never have a name on it. And I think that's not unusual for the kind of messages that you deliver to different people. And you get the sense that if anyone were to get their hands on anything that you're taking back and forth, including like messages, they wouldn't be able to say for sure who it was to or from. And that might be quite protective.
Interesting. In which case, can I do a stupid thing? And as I kind of wander slightly away from the house, but I would love to almost do a bit of a round and maybe see if there's like any window or something that I might be able to like just look through. Maybe it involves some climbing. I don't know, but just I think at the moment I am very, there's just a part of me that's kind of like annoyed and like I who is this person that I've been delivering these things to? I want to just see their face.
And this is probably also by far the fanciest place that you've done jobs to. Like it's definitely like head and shoulders above the other kind of establishments and houses that you go to. Like this is wealth. So there's iron railings out the front. It's slightly set back. You could try and peer, or do you want to try and get around the back somewhere where you could peer in maybe more closely?
I think I'd almost want to do a bit of a scan of the place, like just kind of like, again, I make it look as if I'm wandering away just in case the butler is kind of looking around. But then almost once I've scanned the place, go like, okay, is there an easy window to look in through? If not, I'm prepared to like try and climb a railing to get a bit of a look in.
I think at the so you it depends who you're looking for, because the fancy front of the house is harder to get up close to, so you might have to do a bit of clambering. You could go around the back, which is probably where you ought to have gone to deliver a message, but that would be more likely to be the kitchens and servants.
Sure. In which case, let's go. I'm going to go for the front of the house with the understanding that presumably the front of the house is also on like towards the street.
Yeah.
So I'm going to also be as sort of sly as possible.
Sure.
We never saw Will again.
It's not a busy street, but like
it's fine
also
if this character dies this episode, right?
And are you just trying to like get up and like peer, or are you trying to like clamber over and just be like?
I think it's a get up and peer, and then if I press the issue, if I feel like I can press the issue, I will. But I'm probably just going to clamber and peer and see what happens then.
Okay.
I feel like I've taught him nothing.
What happened to Will?
A clambering check would probably be brawn, wouldn't it? Because it is kind of climbing.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't it? So it's not like a flight, for example, because obviously that's kind of you kind of.
So, tell me how you think that is. Flying.
Yeah.
So because what I'm doing is I'm flying away from.
I'm flying from the ground.
I did that all the time.
I'm sort of moving swiftly away from ignorance and moving towards knowledge.
I think Shamini might have the stronger argument here.
I feel like Maybe this might be more of a brawn. You know what? I
If
would
you
let
say so.
you. I would let you do grit
Oh, sure. Okay.
because I
Thank you.
feel like
will-
this is
I will take that.
very ballsy.
What's the DC, Charms?
Oh, that's me. I need to set a
Yes.
DC.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you just like your aim here is just trying to peer, or would you like you're trying to peer in a in a subtle way, right?
Yeah, peer in a subtle way.
You're trying to peer and not be seen. Or
Peer and not be seen.
Yeah. I would probably say a 12.
God.
You
Wow.
do that?
So why don't you tell us what dice you have,
Yeah.
Folarin?
So I have a D6.
Okay. Not
Um,
impossible. He's got to explode a
it's
few
n-
times.
Oh, that's true. Exploding is an
That's
option.
true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
You
let's
max out in this game if you
let's see what happens.
crit, you get to roll again and add it.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Did it go good?
That was a 1.
That's not great.
I must draw Shamini your attention to the rule where the further away you are from the target number, the worse it goes.
Oh yeah.
This is
But
the
it
equivalent,
reads where it
basically.
says
Of,
minus.
this is equivalent of a natural 1 being rolled.
Yeah.
We never saw Will again
Truly.
in any timeline.
Rules here say the failure is profound.
Profound
Yeah.
failure.
This failure.
Okay.
Profound.
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 Failure. Interesting. Good.
Solo's torch song. Go. Let's go.
You try to you start sort of edging up onto this railing, and you don't have a very good view, so you're leaning further and further, and you're trying to sort of reach from where the railing is on the street to the wall of the house. Below you is like where there's like a basement section, but there's some like natural light that goes into the basement. You fall before you can see what's going on in the house. Where I'm gonna throw this back to you. How and where do you think you fall, and do you think you and does it injure you at all?
I think on a profound failure, yes, I think it has to injure me. So I think I have to fall. So, and just so I understand, the way you described it, I'm not necessarily I'm not on the other side of the fence, right? So
You're
I'm still
kind of
on
on
the
top of it in a uncomfortably spiky top part, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, if I'm on the top of it, then I think it's got to be I fall and somehow kind of catch a bit of my shirt as I go, so it gets ripped.
Yeah. Oh no.
And then kind of land kind of on my face.
Yeah.
On the other side. So I'm now like on the inside of this railing.
Yeah, that's quite a fall as well, because it's like one floor down basically is where you've just landed.
Excellent.
With your torn shirt. It's painful. Probably like knocks the breath out of you a bit, but you're all right. You're a bit scratched up, a bit banged up. You're now in a very small, like a very, very narrow courtyard between the wall where the street is and this sort of basement.
Oh wait, you're trapped?
Window.
Yeah,
and you thought I was going to be the problem, Zack. Double trouble.
So here's my immediate question. I think in this moment, I think I sort of land, and I think hurting myself in this way, hearing the sort of rip of the sort of material as I land. Clothes that obviously again have been sort of mended and patched so many times over the years, but I certainly feel the like pain of having to redo it. I think I really sort of come to my senses and kind of go like, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. And I think immediately I'm kind of looking and going, how do I get out of this? So I think now there's a part of me going, effectively, how can I like escape from here with the least causing the least amount of trouble possible, but also maybe still trying to like just get a little, because I'm in for a penny now, so I might as well try and see something. I'm not going to go further, but if I can see something as I run away, that would be great.
How I will tell you what you see, but how would you like to try and get out of here? I will say there is the street and the railing, with a little lip, and there is a door. It's not completely inaccessible because people need to get out and be able to like sweep here and things.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of looking at the situation and going, there are presumably sort of workers in this place who do not have to climb railings to kind of get in and out of the courtyard or the background. You know, there are downstairs staff who are accustomed to just like going through and out the doors. And whilst I will not look familiar to them, presumably it's not that uncommon to see people coming in and out of that door. So I think I'm aiming for that door.
The door, right? The door doesn't go anywhere except this very narrow place. The door is merely there so that this place is accessible, so that if you drop something where it fills up with leaves or something, you can clean it. Like this is a non-place. There's nothing here.
Gotcha.
No one goes here.
Okay.
This is
your place. You are in the bad place.
You found a new home for us, Will.
Thanks,
the only
Will.
point of this space is so that the lower level of this house gets natural sunlight from the gap. That's the only reason this space is here.
Okay, in which case, my question is, I'm less interested. What can I take in my surroundings to basically find out what the easiest way out of here would be?
Okay, yeah. I'm going to say you now can see in the window of the. You're right next to it. Oh, look, the window. What's in here? And what you see as you peer, because you're not in a rush, is an empty room. It seems. You might as well chill. Not a rush. Chill out so we can see. There doesn't seem to be anyone in there peering back, so that's nice. It looks like a kind of sort of like a library. It's halfway between here's my nice collection of books and like here's all the books and bits and bobs that I've sort of shoved here that aren't like fancy enough for my nice library, which is probably like on the top floor. So yeah, quite a lot of books, and also various like stuffed animals, like specimens, like a little bird in a glass dome, and a stuffed fox, sort of quite big on a little stand. Yeah, and
so it's kind of a collection of like interesting artifacts, the kind of thing that I've probably seen in a couple of houses, but I would imagine this is nicer than any of those that I've seen.
Yeah, and it's also clearly the second room of the stuff. It's clearly not the main. This isn't display stuff.
This is the overflow
it's
library,
the overflow,
darling.
exactly. It's the overflow library.
This is where all the tabs are, by the way. All of them are open.
The way I see it, unless you have a different idea, you have three options. You could try and climb back up. You've got sort of like a window ledge. You've got the lip of the railing. You could knock on the door and where you go from there, I don't know. But you could knock on the door. Hope someone comes. I mean, for that. To that extent, actually, you could just sort of shout help, but see if anyone comes helps you out. I don't know. Or you could try and break into this house through the window.
Oh, guys. Okay, cool.
I didn't know this was going to happen, Fiona. I'm not telling you we should do that. This was not part of my plan.
You didn't have to present it.
Yeah, sure.
What's he meant to do now?
I know,
What's the funniest thing he could do?
This is the thing. Here is really where I'm at, and I'm going to need my players to help me in this moment. Because because there's a part of me that's like, oh, okay, well, for the sake of the story, I should just get out of here so that we can move on and we can get to the characters, and wouldn't that be lovely? And then there's another part of me that goes, for the sake of the story,
Break into that backup library. I agree. Yes, let's go.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like I've had a game before where Emily Bates is noped to the final encounter in like halfway through. Let's try and beat her record.
Okay. Unfortunately, you have said the bad thing. The devil on my shoulder maybe has won. So here's what I'm going to say. I have the skill intuitive, so I can spend an adversity token to ask about my surroundings and NPC, etc. And the DM can't lie to me. So I guess my question here is...
Oh, I could. Shit, I should have been lying to you.
Well,
You could have been lying this whole time.
You could have been lying this whole time.
Yeah.
Because there are, of course, 2 GMs and one always lies and the other always tells the truth. And I don't know which one you are. But I'm basically going to ask, what is the easiest point of egress both into and out of this library?
Ooh, you can smash the window. It's easy. It's not ever sensible. It's easy.
Okay.
You could maybe try and slide something thin through the gap. I feel like it's a sash window, and you could try and wiggle and unlatch it, and then you'd be able to push it up.
Let's try and wiggle, because if it's that kind of window that could happen, then let's try that.
Lovely. What kind of thing might you have on you that you could wiggle with?
I think I have... Oh gosh, what kind of things would I have? I know that I have in my on my person, I have random pens and booklets and things of that nature. I think I probably have a pocket knife of sorts that I probably use more often than not to I don't know. This is slightly anachronistic, but whittle quills or something.
Oh,
But in this instance, I think I'm going to use that to try and jimmy this window.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
lovely. Right, what shall we roll for some jimmying? Have you got a pitch?
I reckon that's brains.
Yeah,
Mm.
that feels like brain. Yeah, that feels like brains.
Great.
Or
Twiddling.
Or
Getting the
grit.
right angle.
yeah, I feel like brains, grit, or flight is specifically running away, right? It's not about being stealthy.
Yeah, moving quickly, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Movement.
Okay. I would say probably brains then, if that's doable.
Okay, let's go with brains. And I'm gonna say this isn't a sort of high security window
Yeah.
or area. But you'd have to have a little bit of skill at this. I would put that at a 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like people think I'm putting these too high.
No. I think Folarin got him into this mess. So I think
Yeah.
he's going to have to spend a
I mean, those
to get out
do
of
feel
it.
very.
Yeah.
Those Shamini, those do feel high.
Feel
I'm not
high.
gonna
Okay,
lie.
I will try and adapt. But he's
Well,
going to get
no,
loads
no.
of adversity tokens.
So I'll take that 9, because I will say, because my brains is a 20, I'm just going to use cool under pressure, spend an adversity token, and just take the 10.
Heck yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, we
You are-
can take half. We have to remember we can always take half.
Yeah. You're taking your time. You're not under pressure to
Yeah,
break into this backup
yes,
library.
exactly. Yes, so this isn't a snap decision. You can take time. You can take half of your without having to roll. Lovely. In that case, you jimmy the lock, lift the sash, and climb inside this very expensive house belonging to you don't know who. Shut it behind you, and you are standing in what may or may not be an overflow study surrounded by books and creatures and
Sorry, wait, creatures?
not alive creatures, dead creatures.
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
creatures.
Taxidermy. Yeah.
Sorry, after you. I think you're right to say
I think we're going to leave you there for a little while.
Yeah,
we're going
great.
to come back to that.
I think we'll leave you
Later.
there
Good.
in the overflow
The
library.
overflow library.
No, there goes my plans.
on the character introduction scene.
I know.
I
Mwah.
can't apologize enough.
No, Folarin, I love you. Perfect. No notes.
Very excited. Right. Okay.
That's so
Let's go
good.
back to my really helpful notebook of
Yep.
things that should
Do you
happen.
need do you need us to vamp for 2 minutes, Fiona?
No,
We can do
No,
another
yeah.
song.
All right. Yeah. Oh, where is Will? Oh, he's stuck down the library.
Oh, where is the little
Will.
boy Jim? He has gone to the library.
Oh no, my name is Will, and I have found myself without a way,
Oh.
etc., etc.,
Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
etc.
So we'll workshop this musical. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're building to the musical episode. Actually,
Yeah.
this
This is Will's torch song at the beginning. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All he wants.
I'm waiting for someone's "I Want" song.
Yes.
I think it might be me, and it might be I would want to not be in this mess.
I
that
want to
I
be
put
out of here.
myself into.
Yeah.
I want to be out of here. Yeah.
that was actually supposed to be the least dangerous of the character introduction scenes.
Incredible. Incredible.
That was the one where it would be fine. Now we're getting to the ones where it
Alright.
might not be fine.
Challenge
Great.
accepted.
Let's
Shamini
do it.
Bundell. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Here we go.
Right.
Yeah. Theo,
Uh-huh.
it is late afternoon on a cloudy spring summer day.
Yeah, but it's always cloudy in London, isn't it?
Exactly. And you are in a very, very fancy area of London with some of your colleagues. Well, some of your colleagues and also your employer / landlord, Mr. Tanner. You and Mr. Tanner and another of your colleagues, Sally, are waiting across the street from a post office. It is a busy, bustling area with lots and lots of shops. And as you look up and down, a lot of these shops are jewelers, jewelry, watches, gems. You are in Hatton Garden. And at a particular point, you don't quite know what the time is, Mr. Tanner gives you both the nod and you start moving. You walk into this post office. It's relatively full of people queued up at the little windows, people working. And the three of you join a queue. Just join in the back of a queue of people waiting to send off their parcels. There was another colleague of yours, whose name I've forgotten, Sean, who is who set out with you, but is no longer there. He went on ahead somewhere. You don't know where he is. You're standing in this queue for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, as it doesn't really move. And at that point, all the lights go out. It's gas lights in here, and it's quite far back from the windows. It is kind of plunged into a quite dark scene, and people can't see. Several people scream, and people start making a hubbub as everyone panics and wonders what's going on. You feel Mr. Tanner's hand on your shoulder, guiding you towards a door. You have your tools in one hand. Mr. Tanner guides you, puts your other hand on this door, and this is something you have been practicing with a blindfold on, and you know exactly what to do. Would you tell me what you'd like to do? I was going to say describe your character, but we can't see him as dark, so who knows? We don't know.
There's a silhouette
Into that man of mystery.
of a tall for his years young man, in a waistcoat with kind of, I don't know, about this long hair, let's say, but blonde, very blonde. And he very quickly pulls out a handful of tools. You can see he's extremely adept with his hands, and he interacts with mechanisms and locks like this in a almost like it's second nature. It just comes to him. He hears the clicks. We almost see like close-ups on his ears as like different clicks go into place, and it's like I become part of the clockwork as different pieces of metal slide into the places that I want them to slide easier than anyone else could make them. Oh, I can't hear you,
You're
Shamini.
muted, Shams.
Would you like to roll for this? Would you like to roll to use your power for this?
Yes, I would like to roll to use my power. Kit, why don't you explain to the audience what I'm doing?
These sneaky little children, they have strange abilities.
What?
Peculiar powers.
Peculiar powers, as you
Indeed.
may have seen from the poster. And we have adapted the mechanics from Kids on Bikes' powered character mechanics. And what it is if you are trying to do something in this case, Zack has a power that will help with picking a lock in this case. You can roll a d6, and in this case, I'm going to set this is something you've done lots and lots of times. So the DC for this is 3. So you have to roll a 3 or higher in order to succeed.
And what am I rolling?
You're rolling as many d6s as you would like. However, if you start rolling more than 1 d6, there might start being some consequences.
Well, it's early doors. But Folarin did just do
Yeah.
some shit.
You're like, hold my pint, Folarin.
So
Let's go.
that's 2d6.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, you're pushing it. He's pushing it already.
I'm pushing it. And that's a 5.
Lovely. Okay. You very swiftly and with very little problem click this lock open.
It's open, boss. Go on.
Can you describe Mr. Tanner for us?
Oh, he is tall, lithe, and sharp. He has this bleach white streak running through the front of his hair, and sallow skin, sunken eyes, and a smile that would curdle milk.
You feel more than see him slip past you into this room, and it is like seconds. It's barely there. And you feel once again as he comes out, just the sort of like arm on your shoulder, just keeping you together as you start weaving your way through. People are sort of unwisely moving around, bumping into each other, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out how to turn the lights back on. And you emerge from the front of the post office into the sort of setting foggy, cloudy light. And you see Mr. Tanner sort of tucking something carefully away under his coat. Sally is still with you, and you see Sean joins you as well from the post office, and the 4 of you walk away down the street with a very successful, quite important job completed. Would you tell me where the 4 of you go? Where's the base of operations, and what is it like?
Where did you say that we were?
Hatton Garden.
Hatton Garden. Where's Hatton Garden in relation to everything? I'm just trying to think here.
Very posh,
I
right?
think we're quite a
Hobony.
Yeah, quite a posh place, and I think we want to be nowhere near here. I think we are somewhere in one of those dingy off streets from the shard. Not there. That's
Well,
an
what?
anachronism. I meant the Strand. I think one of those
Mm.
dirty little alleyways where there's any number of little hidey holes and doors coming off of sides of buildings, far from the Strand that you know today in London. It is a dark place. And I think we scroll away down an alleyway through a door that you would never assume actually went anywhere. Maybe it was an access door for one of the further buildings, but actually maybe goes down a set of stairs and into a basement area where we keep our work hidden.
Lovely. And as you sort of regroup.
Yeah.
In this area, what kind of sort of like furniture, like what's the inside of this building look
It's
like?
moth-eaten.
Yeah.
Dimly lit, again, gas lamps, of course. But I think it's quite fine, or at least was once quite fine furniture.
Yeah.
Almost like it had been pilfered from some abandoned estate or a house that had been left dormant for a bit too long. I think, there will be chaise lounges and armchairs. I think maybe Tanner's decked out a bar in here as well, with various different half-drunk bottles of poor quality hard liquor. I think it's a low ceiling as well and quite smoky in here. Smells of damp, like a lot of these places in London do.
Yeah. I think Sally comes in and sort of sprawls herself into one of the moth-eaten old armchairs that's here. Mr. Tanner goes to a side room, and I think he goes in there, unlocks it, disappears inside, comes out, locks it again, and removes his coat and isn't carrying anything. And fetches a coin pouch, and Sean sort of goes up and sort of looks ready. Mr. Tanner says, "Well, I'd say that was quite a successful job.
Yeah, did
Everyone
quite
played
good.
their part very well."
What exactly was Sean doing?
Who do you think turned off the gas, turned out all the lights?
Right. Fair enough.
So,
And wait, what's the name doing? What was Sally doing? What did she do? You went in, I did the lock picking, and he turned off the gas. What is Sally doing here?
she glares at you like you are a squirty little worm. I don't know what Sally sounds like. We're gonna find out.
Strong but silent type. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there in case you screwed it up. That's what I was there
But
for.
it didn't seem unnecessary, were you?
Just you wait. One of these days, you're so.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do without me, Sally?
I could have done it. She
Oh
looks
yeah,
at
go on,
Tanner.
pick that door
I
right
coulda-
there.
I could.
Go on,
Well, I
do it
could.
right now.
Yeah, you ain't my boss, so I'm not gonna.
Right, because you can't.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's plenty for one day. I will pay you your wages. You can be on your way. And Sean is sort of waiting there to get paid. Hands him an amount of money that you don't see exactly how much it is. Sally sort of hops up, just shoves in front of you, just make sure that she's there next. Gives you a glare as she walks out, back up the stairs and out of the room. Tanner looks at you. Now that was quite a bit we got today.
Yeah.
And
I'd might go a bit of a way to sorting this out.
Well, it's certainly reduced your debts, shall we say. Or unless you want to take more of it now. If you're in need, I wouldn't want to
What?
deprive you, but I do think you don't want those debts hanging over you, not a young man like you.
No,
You want
no.
them cleared, and the rent doesn't stop, does it?
Well, how much do I still owe you?
Let's not worry about specifics. The rent, I'm very prepared to give you a discount. As I've said, you and that sweet little brother and sisters of yours.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be charging you what the place is worth. I think I've said that, and I think that's very kind of me.
Well, it is decrepit.
It is a very nice area, and certainly, look, the type of rent people are paying on that kind of street. We're talking shillings a week, pounds, some of them.
No, fine. Keep the rent. It's fine.
I'll just give you a bit. Make sure you and your brother and sister are all right. Yeah, here you go. And he passes you a very measly amount.
I think I kind of snatch it and I storm out of the room. Is Sally still about?
You look up and down the street. I'll say you can see her. It didn't take very long, did it? Sort of disappearing off round a corner. If you want to go and catch up with her.
No, I don't want to catch up with her so much as I want to just see where she goes and try and catch up to her, but so she doesn't notice me.
Oh, lovely. Okay. That sounds quite flighty to me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
I think that's a reasonable thing to say.
So it's a relatively busy time. It's a relatively busy area. She's not thinking she's going to be followed. Success likely. Let's go with a 5.
A 5. Okay, lovely. D8
Totally
on a 5.
Totally reasonable.
This is doable. I've also got 3 adversity tokens according
Great.
to
Are
my
you
character sheet.
Zachary? Are you spending all of them to catch up to this lady?
Don't forget, everyone. Every time you fail a roll, just note down that you get an adversity token because they're going to come in useful. You can spend them.
Good news. I don't need to spend any because that's a 7, so it goes even beyond that success.
This guy.
Lovely.
And as I catch up to her, I would like to use one aspect of my peculiar abilities.
Okay.
And I'd like to know where on her person she's put her coins.
Oh, lovely. Would you like to?
I love everyone catching on in what I'm trying to do.
All right, fine. Spend it all. Go for it. Yeah, we want that.
Would you like to roll for your use of your power, please?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do 2 again.
You're gonna do 2 again.
What do I need to hit? Yeah.
Mikey. You only need to hit a 3.
Yeah, I'll do 2 again.
This is you do this.
You steal money off Sally all the time.
Now,
It's a
here's
game
a
you
question.
play.
Here's a question, Shamini.
Yeah.
Did these dice explode?
No.
Okay.
Mm.
Fair
But
enough.
you can use adversity tokens presumably to hit on these, or no?
I hadn't decided that yet.
Well, you don't need to decide yet
No.
because I got another 7.
She has no money.
Yeah, I would like to use my kind of coin sense, find where those coins are, and just slip my hands in. Not grab all of them, but grab a few.
Okay. Yeah, you 100% know where they are, and with that success, you are say wait for her to be going down quite a busy street where there are more people walking by, so it's not like it was that person coming up behind me. You're quick, you're quiet, you're not going for all of them, you're not getting greedy, you're just grabbing like little handful, a few coins, and she doesn't notice.
And then I just slip back into the crowd and I find a little sweet shop, and I would like to purchase a pack of sweets that I will describe in a later scene.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It's got specific. Okay. Okay. There's a lot of pushing of your powers there, Zach.
Yeah,
I'm
look.
thinking about that.
Folarin
I'm
came in
pondering it.
swinging.
You did, yeah.
I had to match that energy.
I want to be so
hard.
clear. That was an accident.
Yes, and yet here we are.
Here we are. Let's heighten this, mother. Let's go.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Your stomping grounds are around the streets of where the sort of fancier parts of Bloomsbury meet Soho, and near to St Giles in the Fields, one of the biggest slums in Victorian London, later entirely demolished to make way for New Oxford Street and all of that. It's a sort of mostly middle class kind of area that you spend your time in. Can you describe Edwina for us?
Absolutely. So Eddie, to her friends, or just as a sort of nickname, is roughly 10 years old, but quite small for a 10-year-old, wearing a sort of grey shift dress that's been patched quite a bit. She's got sort of mid-length sort of brown hair and a red ribbon that sort of ties her up. I think the cutest thing about her is obviously her dimpled smile, which she uses as like with abundance to get what she likes. And she has like a little doll with her who again has been patched up many a time, probably is losing the hair a bit like a Cynthia doll from Rugrats is what I imagine. Sort of like a bit of hair everywhere and like maybe a button for an eye. And scruffy shoes, maybe one long sock and one short sock. But yeah, just happy, bit grubby, but yeah, perfectly happy.
You are currently on the high street, looking into a shop window. Can you tell me what Eddie is gazing at that you cannot have?
Oh gosh, great question. It is it's a toy shop, and in the toy shop it is like it's a little like horse-drawn carriage, perfect for my Nelly, my little doll, to go in, almost like a dream carriage. And as you move the carriage, the horse's legs sort of are like on like almost like an automaton, so the legs will move as they go. Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
nice. As you are staring into the window of this toy shop, you feel a hand whack down on your shoulder and grip you tight, spin you round, and there is Beadle Skinner.
Oh,
God damn it.
He has a very fancy hat. He has a very fancy
Not
suit,
this motherfucker.
and his eyes are just bulging. And he looks at you, one hand grabbing and the other hand pointing. You little vagrant, you little rascallion, I've got you now. Look, you just loitering around. Well, no more disturbing the fine people of this street.
Eddie starts crying immediately. Just big tears on demand. Yeah.
No, like you. Can you roll for charm? for passers-by.
These are real tears. The scary man has just appeared. A charm. Okay.
Yeah.
That is. Oh, sorry. What is the DC? Just so I know.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is how the game works. I know
Yes,
how the
yes.
game works. I said a ZC. Right. He's yelling at a child in the street.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to say 7.
7. Okay. My charm is a D20 plus 1 because I'm a small
Nice.
child. So now don't screw me over in the first roll of the game. Cool. That's not what I want a D20. That is a 2 on the dice. But I'm going to just instantly spend 2 adversity tokens because I've got
How
3
many
to
do you
begin with.
start off with? Oh, you start off with 3. That's
3.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to
Pretty
spend
good.
2 to activate Lucky and re-roll that because I wish to. I do not want to be caught by this.
That's
this
pricey,
horrible
but yeah.
man.
Come on, then.
All right, come on. So I need to get over a 7. I explode.
Oh my god.
Okay, 39.
Oh my
Excuse
god.
me.
So
I rolled-
what you're telling me is that she immediately reduces Skinner into tears.
Yeah, everyone around me. Yeah, so I rolled on my 20. I rolled a 20 and then I rolled an 18. So that's plus
Holy
1,
cow.
39.
As you are crying, and he's just sort of shaking you slightly by the shoulder, and a minor stumble at the tears, but then carries on sort of berating you. Now you'll see. You won't be around here anymore. Absolutely not. You'll be
Let
off to
go.
the workhouse. As he's sort of continuing,
Mhm.
an extremely fancy carriage pulls up and pauses where you are, and a very wealthy looking gentleman leans out of the carriage. I say, Beadle. Beadle's sort of like, my lord, I'm just, yes, and he just like just not letting go of you, like, what can I do for you, my lord? Well, I was going to ask for some assistance with some of my things here. Is everything all right?
I've lost my mummy. Can you help me with my mummy, please?
Oh dear. Oh, that is most upsetting. Beadle, if you could help us with these things, then perhaps find this child's mother. She's a vagrant. I don't think she has no mother. I think she belongs in the workhouse. I'm sure you can do whatever's right for her, whatever's best for her. But please, I do need some assistance first. And the beadle sort of like just this one like grip on you, and then sort of looking over to where he's being like summoned.
Mm-hmm.
Looks at you like, you stay right here. Do not move, and I will help you find your mother. Very reluctantly lets go his hand off your shoulder.
Okay.
Still looking at you.
Yep.
Still looking at you. Takes a step away. He's looking at you.
Yep. As soon as I see his attention is divided, I go, Princess, I need your assistance. I would like to call upon the birds to do what I call the squadron maneuver and poo on this beadle, distracting him whilst I make my escape.
Incredible. As you speak, you hear the flutter of loud wings. Would you like to roll?
Yes, of course I would like to roll. Is this something I guess Shamini.
Yes.
I know what I think the answer is, but
Done this before. No, this is fine. You only need a 3.
Called upon Princess to go
Princess
and do
Sesame poos on command.
on command. Poos on command. Excellent. yeah, I believe in Big Brother Theo. I'm also gonna roll 2 dice. And hope
Oh, they're all going mad. They're all going. None of them have any faith.
I just need her to poo right into his eyes.
The
That's all
audience
that
don't yet
Okay.
know what the consequences for these rolls are.
No,
doesn't matter.
No.
Cool. It's a 2, so I don't succeed. Oh wait, you add them together. 4.
You had them together. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh, I was like, yeah, that was been really
Yeah,
yeah,
you had
4.
them-
I
you had them
just
together,
make
yeah.
it.
Okay. Whew. The beadle takes another step back. Yes, my lord, just come in, my lord, be right there. And then at that point, yeah, and I think like Princess Cecily has to do a bit of a dive bomb because he's got his nice beadle hat on.
He's got his nice
And,
beat
like,
with perfect
she's-
target.
She's trying to get like underneath, like to get in his face, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a sort of like weird like side dive bomb where this pigeon kind of comes in front of him, poops like half down his face, half down his top.
Yeah.
He sort of squawks slightly as he was sort of turning around, like slightly off balance as well. What would you like to do?
I sort of go. Fiona would say a cool thing. I'm just saying like, cheese it, and I just run as quickly as my little legs
Did
can
you say
carry me.
cheese it?
Yeah, I said
Cheese it.
cheese it.
Sounds like a crunchy snack.
And yet, it is also a term for running away.
Oh right, okay.
Oh,
cool,
okay,
good.
sure.
I knew that.
Lovely, get down with it. Yeah. Cheese it.
Victorian lingo before. Cheese it, right. Edwina cheeses it rapidly. Princess Cecily, a beautiful pigeon, a fine specimen of a bird,
My hero.
flaps enthusiastically behind you. Where are you going?
Well, I think if I know the others are going to be out a little bit and it's sort of mid-afternoon, I still need to like help out a little bit or want to, so I'll probably get further away from where I think Beadle keeps an eye on us. Maybe I'll go to like the local park or something like that and see if I can like do a little like do my sad girl looking sad next to the pond. See if maybe I can get a penny or two to go like feed the ducks, or feed the pigeons themselves. You know. So yeah.
Lovely.
Demonstrated by Zack perfectly.
Sad girl.
I'd certainly give money to sad girl.
Yeah. Sad pigeon girl.
You go and you sit sadly in a park, looking sad. I think the park is like just like nice and neat with like tended little hedges. It's very, very small, and I think it's opposite the sort of local parish church, this sort of little area where you tend to loiter around. And I think after you've been sitting there for a while, your friend Eleanor comes out of the church, spies you, and wanders over holding a little bit of bread and cheese. Would you like to describe Eleanor for us?
Yes, absolutely. So Eleanor, I believe, is the sort of the person at the church that would be one helping out the community. So yeah, any sort of like local children, like almost like childcare, as it were, and help them with their numbers and stuff. As part of like the church, so the missions to do that. I imagine her like a fairly well put together lady, like decent, again, not like a nun's outfit or anything like that, but similar to like showing that she is part of the organization. I think she has like lots of she looks beautiful. Like her hair is maybe streaked with a little bit of grey, has a few bits of pieces of jewelry, but it's also like very simple and elegant. So I think Eddie would consider this like as a proper lady, even though there's other people. So and she comes and she has this beautiful smile about her, and it really lights up the whole room or whole park even. So yeah, as soon as she says, "Miss Eleanor, hello," and then runs over, massive big hug, like that.
Oh, Edwina, I thought you looked terribly sad.
Oh, I was sad, but now I'm happy because you're here.
Oh, well, that's lovely. I brought you a little bit of snack.
Thank you. Is this for me or is it for Princess?
I think you should have it. I think Princess would want you to have it.
Oh, is that so, Princess? Just see the bird and go, okay.
The pigeon coos, somewhat lost, I think, in a surrounding of like other pigeons, but you can tell which one's Princess Cecily.
Yeah,
Like just like she's got this like particular white feathers.
yeah, she's got a little crown. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like maybe some people are like, oh, that looks like the same as the other pigeon. Is that not? Are you sure? Yeah. And you're like, no, that's that one. That's Princess Cecily.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
In the movie of this, it's definitely like 3 pigeons unnamed under Princess for different shots. So yeah, absolutely.
We've got a flying pigeon, we've got a pecking pigeon, and we've also got a beauty pigeon.
Yeah, beauty pigeon. Yeah.
How are you doing, Edwina?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I've just yeah, all good, and yeah, just waiting for my brothers to finish their work, and then yeah, we're just gonna have the evening together. So I just thought I'd come here and admire the ducks.
Are they doing okay?
Yeah.
They're
Well,
keeping
you know,
you.
well, you know how Will is. He sort of gets himself into sticky situations, but I'm sure he's fine and hasn't done anything silly today.
Are they keeping you warm, keeping you fed?
Mhm.
Lovely. Now, I know you are often very busy with Princess.
Yes, so busy.
You have a lot on, don't you?
Yes, big schedules, big days.
But I was wondering if perhaps you might find time in your schedule to help out a friend of mine.
Yeah, a friend. I can help friends. Yeah.
Now, she is a very interesting lady, and she lives in her own little flat, and she does her own work. And she told me that she needed help, and that it would be good to have the employ of a young girl, maybe quite a bold young girl. And I thought, I know just the person.
Me. I'm bold. Me.
You are. You're very bold, and hopefully there'll be some money in it for you. And maybe if you make a good impression, it's the kind of thing where maybe she'd ask for your help again, or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, I'd like that. I like helping. Can Princess come?
I don't know how she feels about birds. Maybe when going to people's houses, the birds should stay outside. Like when you come and visit me in the church.
Right, yes.
The
Inside,
priest
Eddie.
doesn't like it when
Outside pigeons, yes.
Princess comes in. Yes,
Yeah.
he doesn't really like it when you come in either. But that's all right. We just sneak around, don't we? He doesn't. He doesn't have to know. That's all right. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you her address.
Okay.
And all you need to do is go over there.
Okay.
And tell her I've sent you. And see what kind
you.
of help she needs and what kind of work you can do. Maybe take your brothers. Just to be.
I thought you needed a bold girl to go. They're icky boys. Oh.
Just to accompany you and make sure you're okay. I wouldn't like to send you off without, by yourself.
Okay.
It'll be your job though. It'll be you'll be earning the.
Yeah. My first job. I'd like that. Yeah.
Yes. Good. Yeah. Good. Wonderful. Okay.
Right.
And she tells you the 3 Holland Road.
3 Holland Road.
And ask for Mrs. Morte.
Mrs. Morte. 3 Holland Road, Mrs. Morte. Okay. Yeah, because unfortunately, Eddie can't read. So if you handed her a piece of paper, she would not have a clue. So she just mutters that over.
Just like repeats it a few times. Like you gotta.
It's very Finding Nemo.
Lovely.
Okay.
Wonderful. With that, I think we might finish part 1 and go to our lore drop It's the lore drop section. If you're just joining us, the lore drop section is where we drop some lore.
It's
tell you.
illustrative by the name.
It's heavy.
It's
Some heavy, heavy lore. Be careful with that. And today's lore dropper, I need a better name than that, is Fiona.
Lore dropper.
drop some lore on us, Fiona.
Bam! Guess what it is? You're right. Pigeons. Absolutely, it is.
Oh.
Who knew? So I have some fascinating facts about pigeons. First off, I think I've got 3 big facts, and I'll send them out. So, pigeons. It's all by eyes again. I appreciate the last time I did a lore drop was also about eyes, but this one is, I think, slightly different. So pigeons have like a special gland in their eyelids that produces like a mucus, right? That makes it so that their tears will stick to the front of their eyes, which means when they are flying, they don't need to like shut their eyes. It stops the eyes from drying out.
Wow.
It's the equivalent of if you put your head out of the window of a car. If you try and do that, don't recommend you do that. And you try and keep your eyes open, your eyes dry out quickly because of the air going past you. But they've got a special.
And then you miss the beam that's in front of you, and it takes your head off.
Exactly, very hereditary.
You can't be Final Destination if you don't have
Exactly.
So that's why, they've got these special glands, which I thought was pretty interesting. Here's the one I didn't know about, right? So if you get a pigeon, classic. Got one in front of you. If you have one of those little eye torches, if you shine it in one of their eyes, obviously gently, the light will go through the other eye, and that is because there's there's a tiny, very thin plate between, because obviously they're on each side of the head. Yeah, you can see the light go through apparently. So there you go.
Ew.
I just thought it was great. Yeah, pretty wild.
Good fact.
Yeah.
I thought so. And then the final one is, let me find it. Oh, eyelashes of a pigeon. They're actually not eyelashes, they're tiny little feathers. So,
Oh, that's cute. Also, they have eyelashes. How sweet.
Can I add something to this? It's not law, and it is not a fact. It is simply, I urge all of you to reconsider your position on pigeons. We treat them as though they are vermin, as though they are the rats of the sky. But the fact of the matter is that pigeons are our friends. We domesticated them. We abandoned them. It was a cruel thing that we did to them. And yet they have not left us. They have, in fact, remained with us. And all it takes is for you to look at a pigeon with a different viewpoint. And you'll realize they are beautiful creatures.
Folarin, I'm hearing your impassioned plea for mercy for the pigeon, and I refuse. There is a pair of pigeons who are consistently attempting to nest on the balcony of my flat, and I hate them. I hate them. They wake me up in the mornings, and I have to shoo them away in my gown like a monster.
Hold on. They wake you up in the morning, so what you're saying is that they are aids.
I don't want to be woken. I don't want to be woken, Folarin. If anyone knows me, it's that I hate to be woken.
I simply do not want to be awake.
I wish not to be woken.
I feel that, to be fair, at any given time, I do not want to be awake.
Should we allow this to become a sort of a debate show? This house believe that pigeons are good, actually? And
what other hot button topics should we cover? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, there's no bring it up to Urchins next time. I've got another one quickly. So your pigeon feet resemble reptile feet because, like all birds, pigeons are direct descendants from dinosaurs. But you can actually see it with their actual feet, which I always thought was quite interesting. And now, don't quote me on this because I saw a quick video of it on the BBC News ages ago. But there is like a pigeon rescue charity in London which will go round and pick up birds, because sometimes pigeons, bless them, they're very silly with their feet, and so you probably see one that has like 2 claws or like a stump. They will catch these pigeons, make sure it's all clean and sort of like not neutralized, but like sort of sanitized, and maybe even like just clip them just to make sure they're okay, and then look after them. So I think that's the London Pigeon Rescue Charity as well. So yeah, go check that out.
Big job. There's a lot of very.
They are not out of work.
Yeah. I tell you, Zack,
I volunteer there.
No,
Yeah,
I refuse.
Lovely. Well,
There you go.
we are going to take a short break now. Thank you for the Lord drop, Fiona.
No worries.
Thank you for a wonderful first half, cast.
What is happening with Will?
Don't
Nope.
know. Help! Don't know. And we will see you back here in about 10 minutes' time. Thank you
Sounds
very
good.
much.
Bye.
Ah.
And we're back.
Will.
What have you
Well,
done?
Yes. How could you?
Mm.
You're broken into a wealthy person's house somewhere in Bloomsbury.
Oh, I'm in Bloomsbury.
I think
Great.
it's near. I think it's near Russell Square.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's nice. You're in their basement front room. Somehow, no one has noticed this. I guess you fell pretty quickly, and then you were out of sight. So that's nice.
Yeah.
You're in this overflow library, as we've determined it is, probably.
Sure.
What would you like to do?
I think in this moment, like, Will is someone who absolutely gets himself into tricky situations by like biting off more than he can chew, by sort of assuming that he is more in control of a situation than he is. But he's also someone who is usually a little bit more level-headed than this. And so like, I think in this moment really is just, he's sort of standing here feeling like the blood pumping so sort of violently through his veins, like he can kind of feel his heartbeat in his ears. He's like going hot, and he kind of feels driven by like this like absolute fear, but also this kind of adrenaline of having done this thing that he knows is so stupid. And I think all he can think in this moment is, I need to get out, but it can't have been for nothing. So I think he's looking around this room with the hopes of doing both. Can I find anything like a letter or correspondence or whatever that might give me some kind of clue as to who this person is? And is there anything that I could take from here that would be either valuable or interesting? And I suspect I might be able to take without it being noticed.
I like it. I'm gonna tell you some kind of things that are here. I actually, I'm kind of up for you suggesting the kind of thing
Sure.
that you want to be able to find, because I mean, there are lots of bits and bobs here.
Yeah.
If you want to look for something super specific, I might make you roll just to sort of see if there is something that particular around. But looking around, you see books. I'll say you see papers as well. Notebooks, like handwritten notebooks. Certainly interesting bits and bobs, knickknacks. So we talked about the stuffed animals. I think there's probably also things like some sort of a skull of an animal, maybe a little like very small microscope, sort of like semi toy microscope that a sort of hobbyist might have, maybe a magnifying glass, maybe binoculars. Yeah, give me a pitch for something that you would like to find.
I think the thing that he's probably really curious to see is, again, like looking through the sort of the papers, I think he's particularly curious about, because I think what Will would love to find is probably like some correspondence between this person and someone else that, again, maybe gives some indication of who he is. But then in terms of the books, I think what he'd love to find is like some sort of like academic text that has been like annotated by this person, because I think he's basically assuming that if he's delivering this person messages, he is assuming that they are, or at least this house messages, he's assuming that someone in this house is some kind of scholar and will have like some interesting book on whatever discipline it is that they are maybe most interested in, that he might be able to almost find like they've hand annotated. Because I think almost in this moment he's going like, I would like something that I might be able to sell, but almost more importantly something that I might learn from. Like it's almost become a quest for knowledge as much as anything else.
Interesting. I want to give you so many things. Let's roll just to give me some guidance on what you might be finding here. I think it's got to be brains.
Thank God.
And I don't think this is a thing you can fail. I think this is more of a tiered check, and how well you roll will determine how much you find.
Okay.
What's the aim here?
Find all the good things.
Can you give us like a
like
good, better, best?
Yeah.
Well, I think because I've got sort of lots of ideas for things that you could find, I think it's literally going to be like how many interesting things you find.
Just keep exploding, Folarin. That's what we're saying.
Never stop.
Basically
never stop.
get a 20 and then keep going.
And never stop blowing up.
Yeah, come on, just do exactly what I did.
Never stop blowing up. Okay.
Just keep doing number 20, yeah.
Do exactly what you did.
That many ideas. I guess I could have some.
Yeah, well,
I've said it now.
Oh no.
What if I got a 3?
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Folarin.
Oh. Oh. I wanted to give you a really cool thing that I thought of.
Are you squished by a book?
In the chat, Rogue Octopus says that can't fail, eh? Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I'm really wishing I'd gone for a cool under pressure, but now it's too late.
Yeah, soz.
You don't have lucky, do you?
Nope. I wish I did.
Rough.
I'm really sad about this. I thought of a really good
As am
thing.
I.
We're not going to.
The books,
Okay.
the library shuts.
Well, you
You're
did
locked out
say
of
you
it.
did say that he couldn't fail.
Yeah, but I can't give him the really cool thing, can I?
No.
Yeah.
I'll give him less
You
cool
could- hey,
things.
hey,
That's how this
Shamini,
game
Shamini,
works.
Shamini.
Less
Hey,
cool
Shamini.
stuff for you.
You can do whatever you like. You
Yeah.
do whatever you like. Live! Live!
Good. You know
Hey,
what?
you're the GM. If you want to break the rules, who
Yeah,
am I
yeah.
to stop
You know what? I think you should give Will all the good
And
books,
will we
actually.
absolutely flip on a dime to argue the opposite of this point when we want to?
Oh, 1000%.
Absolutely.
That explains what it means to be a rules lawyer.
Mm, well.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you something interesting, but there's only one thing. There's one thing that I'm going to say catches your eye as you're sort of looking around for something interesting, and that is there is an envelope on the table, sort of halfway being written, let's say, and on it is the address of the orphanage that yourself, Edwina, and Theo ran away from
No,
2 years ago.
no.
And at that point, before you can look any further,
Yes.
you hear a creak from upstairs, and you are sort of startled and need to scram.
I'm going to grab that letter.
Okay. Fair.
And
They don't
then
need
I'm
it.
going to
Yeah.
get the hell on out of here.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to say at this point, give me one final roll. This
You're
roll
a kind and benevolent
will
GM.
just summarize how getting out of here goes.
Generally, how
But
you
again,
do.
it's a tiered check. You were going to get out
You
of here.
can possibly fail.
with better or worse.
Are you
Am
going?
I tempting fate again?
You're not gonna like tear your jerkin. You're also gonna tear your pants, as somebody else suggested.
Yes,
So
yes,
you
yes,
have
yes.
no clothes
That's
left.
the
when you
worst.
run out
Yes,
into
yes,
the street.
exactly. Yeah.
Roll me a
just
flight.
naked boy. May I
With an
ask
envelope.
what the DC is here?
I'm not going to give you a DC because I want you to get out of this
Yes.
house.
Yeah,
We're done.
agreed.
I feel like
can't
you're
deal
gonna
with
get out. I don't
The
want
only
you to
reason
fail to
why
get
I'm
out of this
asking
house.
is because I'm very conscious that my flight is a D12 plus 1, and
That's
there's
great.
a part of me that's like, should I just spend an adversity token and take half?
Cool. Yeah. Under
Yeah.
pressure.
Cool under pressure.
Yeah, probably.
Do we think that would get me out safely?
A 6.
Mm-hmm.
7 because of the plus
A
1.
7. Sorry, a 7. I think, like you would definitely get out. I think you would probably, with a 7, I think someone would probably see you and kick you out. But it's probably the servant who you met earlier, and they probably won't call the police.
I think all things considered and the way I've been rolling, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Take that envelope.
Go around that
You
envelope,
hide the envelope, and I think
stuff it in one of my
Put it in your
pockets
hat.
in my
Put it in
jacket.
your hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
one of
good.
those. Yeah.
I think because that butler saw you earlier, I think he isn't as like, oh, did you come in here to nick stuff? Like, have you like? I think he thinks you've just kind of like somehow kind of snuck in at some point and are just sort of looking around. I don't think he's too like. He's pretty pissed, and definitely like shoving you out the door.
I think as he's shoving me, I think I'm just going, oh, well, no, it's only because I did forget earlier you asked me if there was a message. And of course, there was actually an additional message. I was just wandering around trying to find you, but couldn't find you. So obviously the message was that, well, it's been good doing business with you, and I hope to continue this sort of relationship that we've established. And obviously you should be very kind to the messages.
Could you give me a 5-star rating on my victorianorphan.com?
Yes.
You go to www.orphans.gov.
Oh, but, yeah, if you wouldn't mind just going to sort of Urchins and giving me a 5-star review, I'd really appreciate it. It's really.
I think the door slams once again. Like when you're halfway through, like, be kind to the messenger. Yeah, like somewhat
truly,
sprawled down the steps.
The door slams in my face, and I like maybe kind of trip a little bit, and I just kind of like pull my jacket up, like up around my sort of frame, and just kind of go. As far as things go, that actually went pretty well.
What are you talking about?
And I just kind of walk off jauntily.
This like artful dodger type character.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Literally.
Well,
Could have been a lot worse. I sort of
Really good. Where do you go?
Oh gosh.
Where are you off to?
I think at this stage I'm very conscious that I would love to sort of mend my clothes and go back home, but I know that I need to let my employer know that I have delivered the package that he sent. So I think I'm heading to the library.
No overflow library, this.
No.
An actual library.
An actual.
Would you like to, as you wander down the streets and arrive at your place of employment, would you like to describe what we see?
Yeah. I think we sort of find ourselves in this like very sort of tucked away little library that I think even as you see it, it almost looks as if it evolved from like a stall and people just sort of like added bits and pieces until eventually it became, a fairly small and ramshackle, almost community-based library. But yeah, again, sort of tucked away in between buildings. It kind of feels like something where the space was not originally intended as a library, but someone was able to kind of get some sort of community space and throw in like lots of different shelves that again don't match, right? It's very much like whoever in the community had some shelves they were able to kind of get and pull in there. So you have all sorts of different types of wood and different coloring and sort of there are various different stacks around. And it's quite sort of dark and musty in here as well, because again, it's almost in an alleyway. But a place where you do see people sort of milling around, both reading of the books, but also very much having conversations. This almost has a bit of a like salon vibe where maybe intellectuals of a certain type come here to discuss things.
I think the mood is quite excited, and you can see at this time in the evening they're getting ready for one of their meetings, and you see your employer Jonathan Welsh is kind of the leader of the group that meets in this library. Other people as well, Edward George is his sort of kind of second in command. There's relatively familiar faces. It's not open to all comers, and people wouldn't come here unless they knew about it. And it's certainly not advertised as a public library in any way. It's it's a private reading rooms. Mm-hmm. And you see Jonathan and Edward sort of seem busy with sort of like somewhat excited conversations. And as you're sort of like peering around, seeing what's going on, you get a sort of gentle cuff over the head from behind you, and you turn around, and Cleopatra has it's just sort of absentmindedly given you an affectionate whack and then gone back to, she's tidying up books and putting things back on shelves in some sort of an order. She seems very specific on where they should be and what the order should be. And she sort of says to the air as she's doing it, like, these people, they never put the things back in the right place. They have no respect. That is the problem here.
Well, here's the thing, because maybe it's, and look, we've discussed this before. When you hit me on the head, right, that's how you get brain damage. Do you know what I mean? So maybe avoid doing that, and maybe people put the books where they're supposed to go.
Hey, well, even with brain damage, you are still so much smarter than all of these fools. What are they talking about now? What are they excited about now?
Well, look, I mean, yeah, sometimes they get like a bit overexcited, but I mean, they're talking about like, you know, revolution in that, and like, yeah, I agree. Like, there's, I don't know, there's something in the air. Like, I feel like things are changing, and we just need to, you know, get together and I don't know, we can make a difference or something.
You think your Mr. Jonathan is the one to change it?
Not in by himself, but like he's got some great ideas, and I think as long as we all sort of listen to him and we all come together.
Ideas. All they have is ideas. They think they want change. They want ideas about change. They want to talk about change.
But it has to start with an idea, doesn't it? Like you can't, I don't know, make the world better without thinking about what a better world would look like, right?
You're smart. You should make the world better for yourself, because sometimes that's all you can do. Don't put your faith in these nonsense people.
It's got to start with all of us. If you make the world better for yourself, then well, it's just the same old thing, isn't it? You have to think and like imagine a world that's better for everyone, and then we're all good.
You're kind. Are you too kind? No, maybe you're just kind enough. Well, you be kind and make my world better with a cup of tea. Go.
You're right. I think goes off and like makes the cup of tea, but like on the way, I think is going to stop by and kind of like interrupt John and Edward's conversation, and just kind of go like, "All right, you're right, Mister."
Before you do that, can we get to some descriptions for?
Oh, of course.
The various characters we see in here.
Yes. I think so. Yeah. So let's start with Cleo. So I think Cleo is an older Black woman, probably in her sort of mid-50s. And I think sort of very like a somewhat kind of bigger woman, but almost has the frame of like a bodybuilder is not quite the right word, because that is almost like show muscle, but it's almost just like the kind of frame of someone who has done a lot of labor and is just like, yeah, I'm sturdy. I am solid as a rock. And sort of despite being in her sort of 50s, just has this kind of like youth about her face. And like will often almost adopt the posture of a sort of older woman, but in moments such as when she needs to kind of grab Will and clip him around the ear, she sort of suddenly takes on this like vitality where it's very clear that she actually is almost this like wellspring of sort of energy and strength that she maybe doesn't make apparent all the time. And I think sort of as he's walking away from her, he then sort of beelines for Jonathan, who I think is this like sort of rake of a man, like very sort of like tall and spindly, kind of you would look at him and sort of imagine this is a man you are worried about him. He does not eat, and I think his pale skin sort of really highlights the sort of dark circles around his eyes that indicate this is a man who does not sleep very well. He is not friends with slumber. And I think even the way he sort of holds his body, there's something of like a praying mantis about him, where you almost get the impression that he's someone who often will read for extended periods of time in like a very odd and crouched position, and almost statue-like in the sense that he's like not moving before suddenly like bursting into sort of movement that is very like animated and ragdollish. And I think even now, as I approach him, he probably has his hands are sort of doing this like very like ragdollish thing in front of Edward, who I can also describe, who I imagine is just like like sort of very short and stout. Um, I think if you imagine the if you imagine the clock from Beauty and the Beast, or sort of
Yeah.
Got
sort of Smee from Hook, it's that kind of vibe. So got a kind of good sort of brushy mustache going on as well. And is maybe only sort of 10 years older than Jonathan. I think Jonathan is sort of in his mid-20s, and Edward is maybe only sort of 10 years ish older than Jonathan, and yet sort of just has the bearing of a man who is much older. Like if you were to look at Edward and look at Cleo, you would probably assume that Edward is older than Cleo. But yeah, I think that's who I am approaching. And I think as I go up to John, I just kind of go like, all right, so I delivered the package and it was fine, and there were absolutely no mistakes made, and there was sort of no trouble to be had. But look, I know I'm not supposed to ask, but like, who is it? Who lives at that house?
Well. Thank you. Excellent work. No. We have to keep everything separate. Everyone's separate. You are special because you can go between us, link things up, but we have to maintain some levels. And sort of Edward butts in like, oh no, I don't. We don't have to be so secretive about everything, do we? And Jonathan says, no. We've got big plans, Will. We've got big plans. Things are progressing, and you will be a very, very important part of that. But we have to keep everything careful up until that point. Plans are being made. Edward, you have brought all of the items. I'm working on getting the deliveries in. Yes, right. You see, everything is going clockworkly. Cogs, everything's cogs.
All right, yeah, no, and I get that, and I'm happy to be a sort of cog in the machine, as it were. But and I think at this moment, Will is really just thinking about having seen that address, and sort of knowing the ways in which this person might be connected to the orphanage, and like knowing nothing more than that, but just having this kind of personal investment and like trying to balance that against the fact of like, one way or another, all's going to get revealed. Like he has means of finding stuff out, but he's just like, but just, I'll be a cog, but just give me a bit of information. I just want to know, like, who is he? What does
How
he
the
know?
machine works. You want the big picture. You want to see the vision, Will. There is a vision. There is a vision.
Yeah.
This anonymous friend of ours is very kind, very, very generous. And that's something that's been quite important to us, allowing us to be here, allowing us to proceed with our work, do our readings, do some of our overseas support, our connections. You need money, Will. You need to be able to spend. It's not cheap. And so certain people, certain charitable individuals, very, very important for that. So we must be very grateful and respectful and appreciative should we come across them. Hence certain gifts that might be being made.
Respectful and appreciative. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can do that, and I've done nothing to sort of threaten that relationship in any way whatsoever. I've maintained that level of sort of respect. And oh, what's that? Oh, Cleo, you want your tea now? All right, I'll just go and get that, and I just sort of like scamper off.
Lovely. We will leave Will there and come back to a sweet shop. Theo, what do we see in this sweet shop?
You're on mute, Zack. Try your hard mute, perhaps. Oh, yeah. Nope, cannot hear you.
No.
This sweet shot.
Silent Zack.
If you want to come back, like maybe come out
Sweet
and
shot is in
yeah.
the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Scientifically, we know that vibrations cannot
Can you
travel.
hear me now? It's a different mic, but
It's different. We can
It's
hear you in
clearly
a
a different
different
mic,
mic.
but yes, that's fine. We can make do.
Yeah.
well, good.
Podcast
'Cause
listeners, apologies for the sudden mic change.
I'm in this sweet shop. I think at this point I've gone through and done the pick and mix of various different bits, and I don't get so much that I spend all of the money that I've been given, because you don't want to spend all in one place, but I spend the money that I've taken from Sally. Was it? Is that
It
right?
was.
Sally.
was.
And then I go, and I think I go and I try to find Eddie.
Okay, I feel like you would probably know the kind of places where Eddie hangs out.
Yeah, I think wherever Eddie is, I'll kind of scope her out and see what she's doing.
Where are you in this instant, Eddie?
I think if Miss Eleanor has sort of given me the thing, I'm like, excellent, great. Wait politely for her to leave. If she doesn't leave, I go, well, I should go be sad by another pond. Bye. And I'll go to another park where I do sad girl with ducks.
I love that. Can you hear me on my proper mic now, by the way?
Got you now, yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, good.
He's back.
So, yeah, I think easy enough. You scour, if you scour a park or two, you're like, you go past, go, that's a sad girl. Wait, that's my sad girl. That sort of thing.
And I think I do my best to kind of sneak up on her and just go,
yeah.
I got you.
No, stop that. That's not funny. God.
Got you some sweets.
Don't want them.
You sure? Because I think I got your favorites in here.
Yeah. Name them.
Sherbet lemon. Got humbug. Come on.
What did you bring, princess?
How about chocolate button?
Look to a random pigeon. She says she can't have chocolate, so I'll have to have it for her. So.
Well, what a hardship you're going to have. Passes over. I give Eddie her pick of the pick and mix sweet bag.
Yeah.
Eddie, what is your one well-known favorite sweets that you always always have to have all of?
Oh, it has to be like a rhubarb and custard boiled sweet.
I've gone out of my way to pick a bunch of those out.
Yeah.
Can I would like to contradict you there.
Oh, no.
You didn't get any rhubarb and custard. You don't seem to have any particular memory of Eddie particularly liking rhubarb and custard, so you didn't get any.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, I guess
I mean, you know what, Sean, that is completely fair.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Okay. Okay, fine. I'll have some of the lemons and then just take.
What's wrong? I thought you loved sherbet lemons.
They're not my favourite.
What's your favourite?
Rhubarb and custard, obviously.
You've never had those.
Yeah, there's a moment where Eddie sort of is analysing the situation. He goes, I'm not hungry anymore, and then passes them back to you.
Oh, well, I only went and spent all my money on this. You're not gonna...
No.
Where's Will, then?
I don't know. He said he was going to go do some errands.
What, the library?
Late fees, he said.
You know, it's not really a library, right, Eddie?
What? No, it's a library. There's books.
Just because there's books doesn't make it a library.
Yeah, it does.
Eddie, there's still a lot we need to teach you about this world.
Well, I've got news. I've got a job. I've got a proper job, so you don't need to work anymore.
I don't need to work anymore, do
No.
I? Right. What job you've got then?
It's
Princess Cecily hired you to a royal court?
well, obviously, but she can't pay me in what I need. She says she could only pay me
Only in
crumbs.
feathers.
But no, I've got a job. It's at 300 Holloway, Sydney. Mrs. M.
He Sherman 42 Wallaby, Sydney.
Yeah, I'm with Mrs. M. She says she's looking for a bold girl, and she picked me. And Mrs. Eleanor said I should go there right away this evening.
Have I heard of Mrs. Eleanor?
I would have thought she's someone who Eddie would have mentioned before.
Yeah, like I think
meets up with quite
most
regularly.
of my days are around the church and stuff like that. I would refer to it as a
This is
real
around
person.
your kind of area as well.
Yeah.
Right,
for sure.
and it's Mrs. Eleanor gave you this job, did she?
Yep. She said I was the best person to do it, so I'm going. She also said that maybe I could take someone with me, like a +1 or 2.
Well, look, I don't want to come along.
Good. I don't want you to come along. I've already invited Princess to come.
Into a house?
Yeah.
Thought we had words.
That was just one time. That Princess was inside the house and I was outside the house.
Well,
It should have been the other way
maybe
around.
maybe I ought to come along then. Just in case Princess Cecily needs someone to hold her handbag.
If you want, I'm not stopping you. It's a free city.
Pigeons.
Feathers. But I don't. We should wait for Will, because like I'm sure he would like.
Should we go by the library then? If we're going to Mrs. M's house, where is it?
I've said several times now.
You said various different bits, and one of them sounded like it wasn't here.
300.
300. You sure about that?
Yep. Pretty
On what
sure.
road?
Holloway. Road, Sydney.
Now, that's not what I wrote down on my notes.
Well, I can't read, and I've run away towards the library.
Oh my gosh. We'll cut back to the library for these two put in an appearance. I think Will, as you're making tea, I think Edward comes over and sort of nods. He's probably about the same height as you, despite the fact that you're not at all full grown. So very well, that was smart lad. Wants to know how it all fits together. Very important to be across things. You delivered a message to our donor this afternoon. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a message as such. It was sort of a package, which I didn't look inside. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a message. In fact, I don't know. Who knows? It was a box.
That's for my records. What's the address of this? This particular contact?
As in, you want me to tell you what the address was?
Yes, I don't know. I've not been there. I don't know this particular.
Well, shouldn't you ask Jonathan about that rather than me?
I can ask Jonathan. I'm asking you. What's the problem?
Well, no problem. I just, I'm assuming that you would know because you're Jonathan's second and everything. So Jonathan sends me on things. So I'm assuming that you know as well.
Jonathan's very big on secrecy. I'll go and ask Jonathan.
Yeah, go on.
Gives you a sort of little frustrated little hurries away, a little glance back, and I think like Cleo just like appears over your shoulder and just. Like,
I was gonna look for her just to kind of give her a look.
Yeah, she's just staring at Edward, just being like,
I know you don't like any of them, but he's the worst, right?
I don't like to play favorites. And I don't have a bad word to say about anyone. You know me.
No, I know. You're a good Christian woman.
You don't trust any of them. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah. I mean, sure. I can learn things and sort of keep a bit of emotional distance, as it were.
And stay. Keep your head down. Stay safe and just give me my tea.
Yeah. I mean, not too safe though. He says as he sort of hands over a bit of tea. Revolutionaries can't play it that safe, you know, so.
She gives you the same look she gave Edward just a moment ago.
I sort of bow both in a gesture of kind of like performance, but also to avoid any potential sort of head clippings.
She turns and sort of huffs off, and I will say the meeting commences in the time that it takes Theo and Eddie to head over to where you are, and various sort of speeches are kind of happening. So Jonathan sort of leads it and does some opening remarks, and it's sort of semi-coded in that, like, there's not a lot of hard details on other people outside this particular literary society, as they sort of jokingly refer to themselves as. But there's sort of talk about politics, talk about things that are happening or in other countries or that have happened, or sort of political directions that perhaps hypothetically, without anyone putting too fine a point on it, wouldn't it be interesting if something like that were to happen in different places? So it's sort of semi sort of like geeing people up, but also keeping things somewhat abstract in talking about it. And I think Edward gives a speech as well, and is a little bit more sort of like practical action, like again, sort of like talking around it somewhat carefully, but a bit more like on the logistics of things that one would need and things like that. Whereas Jonathan's a bit more idealistic, should we say. And other people sort of throw in their sort of opinions and their various spirited ideas. And it's a sort of quite a brief one, as sort of night, dusk is falling outside, when you finish up the remainder of your work, sort of getting people drinks and tidying up and things like that, and emerge onto a darkening street to find Eddie and Theo waiting for you.
I think I see them and immediately almost like reach for my hat and the sort of letter that I have in there. And I think that the idea of like getting it out occurs to me, and then I kind of hold back because I think I have this feeling of wanting to investigate it a bit further before I bring it to their attention. So I sort of, again, make this gesture and then sort of, you know, put both of my hands on my head almost as if I'm stretching and go, all right, there you two are,
And
lazy layabouts.
As you do that, I think you reveal the hole in your shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
What have you done?
Oh,
Will.
this? Oh, no, that
Will.
was, yeah, no, I mean, you know, just...
See how much a new shirt is going to cost?
No, well, it's not going to be a new one, is it? I'm just going to sort of mend this one.
I've only just got paid.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I got paid as well, didn't I? You know.
What, in books?
Yeah, and, you know, a couple of pence as well. But a book is knowledge, and knowledge is the most valuable thing of all.
Oh, yeah? And
Yeah.
how's knowledge going to buy you a new shirt?
Well, with enough knowledge, I might learn
How to make a shirt?
Maybe I'll become a tailor. Maybe I'll learn how to rear sheep, become a shepherd.
Well, while you're doing that, you might find you need a shirt.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay. Well, I will buy you a new shirt because I've got a job now. So you don't need to worry
got
about
a
it.
job.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. What's your job then?
So I have to go to this house. It's a flat by Mrs. M on 300 Holloway. And I
It's
just
all
go
the way
there.
up in Islington.
All right. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna like go up to it. Did you get a note from Eleanor, or was it literally just the words that she said?
Just repeated the words. And
No,
I've
she
repeated them
can't.
so much. Yeah, I can't read, so I'm just repeating them.
Excellent. Cool.
It's like a narrative telephone, so it's got to the point now where I'm just adding new words in.
Now,
That doesn't sound like any address that has ever existed.
No,
unfortunately, unfortunately, Folarin, that is a very real address in London. Unfortunately, Folarin, I have looked it up, and there's a very famous Holloway Road in Islington that does have 300 plus addresses on it.
And I believe I have walked down that road.
Yep, me too.
Can I looking at sort of her and and the ways in which I simply do not believe that she has remembered this thing. I'm just going to go up to you and just be like, all right, did Miss Ellen, obviously I do trust you, but did Miss Ellen like give you anything?
Telling you she does exist.
No, and I trust, I believe you. I believe, as with all things, just as you know, I believe that, you know, Miss Princess follows you everywhere it is that you go, and it is not just a sort of random assortment of pigeons that you have sort of all named Princess.
What are you talking about? And I point to like the rooftop where there's like loads of pigeons. I was like, there she is.
Yeah, all right. So which one is Princess out of those? All right, well,
let's point at one of them.
I'm not going to argue with you. Did Eleanor give you anything? Did she give you anything? Anything at all?
I give the piece of bread.
Okay.
Oh, God. I think we're gonna have to go to Miss Eleanor then. If this is a real job.
No, it is a real job.
I'm gonna give this back to you. Yeah. All right. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Can I hold on to the piece of bread and see if I can get the memory?
Unbelievable.
Of this?
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Lauren, this best use of powers yet.
That's
confirming, verifying.
Will's character has the power.
As we hear you absolutely say 100% the wrong address.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And in such a catastrophic way that we couldn't.
Right. Now, Will has the ability to get visions from objects. It's usually less detail oriented and more sort of emotional. But yeah.
You're gonna make him roll?
I'm gonna make you roll. I'm going to allow you to roll for getting a bread vision.
Oh man.
Excellent. And as have my siblings before me, so shall I too roll 2d6.
I think
shout
it
out
might
to the two crew.
I think it might be a slightly higher DC.
Oh, this is going to be a higher DC. Oh, of course, because I'm trying to get a
one.
specific memory.
It's very. It feels a little bit new.
Yeah. What bread memory?
Untried.
Bread
Don't be a
memories.
sourdough. Wow. Anyway.
Wow. Perhaps a +4.
I think I'm going to make the DC a 4.
Okay.
And you can roll. Roll with your extra D6 for pushing it to 2.
Yeah.
All right. And wait, can we have a ruling on adversity tokens?
Ooh, yes, that's going to become very relevant.
Oh yeah, whether you can spend adversity tokens. Yeah, go on. You can spend adversity tokens on it. Yeah.
Okay, so to clarify, how many d6 am I rolling?
As many as you want.
But then your, punishment, as I so keenly demonstrated, will arrive in time.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go for 2. Let's see how it goes.
It's fine.
It's only 4.
You've taken memories from my bread before. It's fine. Yeah.
It's only 4.
Bloody hell. Okay, so that was a 3. I have an adversity token,
Okay.
which I will spend to make a 4.
Okay, right. You're holding this bread, holding this piece of bread, and you're closing your eyes, you're focusing a bit, trying to really draw out a specific feeling from this bread. And I think you get kind of a jumble of different vibes. You sense like the afternoon light, which sort of gives you this sense of being in a different place because it's dark now where you are, but it feels peaceful. It feels relaxed. You get a sense of love, a sense of caring, and a little bit of a sense of worry as well. And you also get repeated
Over and
several
over
times, over and over again, just again at the edges of this vision, an address: 3 Holland Road, Mrs. Morte.
Oh, okay, not 300. All right.
So, I think there's just a moment where sort of getting that like almost wash of emotions and almost feeling the like I think feeling the love in the bread and the kind of worry in the bread, and I think those are sort of obviously very like 2 very powerful emotions, and I think you probably see as Will sort of comes to almost from this communion with the bread. I think you kind of see him come to, and I think you almost see like a sort of tear fall from his eyes, as though he's like slightly overwhelmed by the emotion. And I think Will himself is unable to tell whether or not he is kind of like almost moved by the feeling of kind of love and worry, and whether that is, coming from Eleanor, or whether he is overwhelmed by the fact that this woman that he doesn't know so deeply cares for Eddie, and whether actually the emotions are his response to feeling that emotion. But either way, you sort of see him, I think, just kind of like wipe a tear from his eyes and sort of hand the bread over and go, it's 3 Holland Road. We need to speak to Mrs. Morte. And he sort of like puts his hat down a bit lower on his brow, puts his hat up, and sort of just walks off in the direction. I think a bit uncomfortable to have like had that emotion so publicly.
That's exactly what I said. Follow behind. Yeah. Wait up. Yeah. Follow behind.
I'll keep pace with them as well.
Lovely. The 3 urchins exclamation mark walk through the darkening streets of London, and you find your way to 3 Holland Road, and you find yourself in a slightly more rundown area. Nice houses, but old, but wearing a little, not well maintained. And as you approach doorway of number 3, just as you sort of step onto the sort of flagstone, the door opens by itself with a very distinct creak. That's what sound creaking doors make.
Wow.
And you see a dark corridor in front of you.
What did you say this place was?
A flat. Yep.
What for?
I don't know. Ladies' things.
Which
Miss Eleanor said that this lady was looking for a strong, noble, bold, beautiful, amazing girl, and that's me.
All right, strong, and noble. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me a bit worried that perhaps something in there requires someone with strength to deal with it.
Yes. But look, fine.
Not worried about that.
If you want to come with me, that's fine. But if you're turned away at the door because you're boys, then so be it, because that will be really embarrassing for you.
Shamini,
Yes.
I would like to use my skilled at casing slash
Lovely.
places slash people,
I love it.
which
Yeah.
allows me to succeed on even moderately difficult checks. It's assumed that I will, or gives
Great.
me up to +3 on a roll.
No,
to do that.
that's
I just
great.
want
That will allow you to
I'm just
succeed.
attempting to assess
Yeah.
this place. Is it wealthy? Does it seem? Is it hiding anything? I'm just trying to case it, see if there's any traps or things I should look out for. Just trying to observe here.
You can see that this is a relatively well-worn route, if that makes sense. People have been through here with their outdoor shoes on. It's dark in this corridor, and you kind of peering in think, if the lights were on, if this was lit, it would look much shabbier and shoddier. And it's sort of been painted in a dark color, perhaps to be deliberately sort of dark and mysterious. And from a sort of down the other end of this hall, you see flickering candlelight glowing from under a doorway, sort of straight down at the other end of this hall.
All right, so I suppose one of us has to go first, and Theo, seeing as you're the oldest, I do feel like it is probably incumbent upon you to do that. So I'll just let you go on ahead first, then, shall I?
Thought you were a man now.
Yeah, no, I am. I am
Thought
a
that's
man.
what the hat was for.
Well, no, yeah, and it is, but obviously, I do think it's important for a man to know his limits and to know sort of where he stands in the pecking order of things. And of course, you are older than me, so you're more of a man, and therefore, it's sort of probably appropriate for you to sort of take lead on this one. And I'll just be right, I'll be right behind you, just right here, you and then me.
I
I'll be
think.
back.
Sorry, no, Fiona, go for it.
I've already walked down.
I know. I knew it was gonna be that. I knew it was gonna be that.
And even better, I'm like, hello, I'm here for the job.
As we're having this back and forth, it's just that, and we both go, oh!
Yeah, very
and
much
we
so.
bolt, and well, at least I bolt through the door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, but
yeah.
immediately once yeah.
You walk down the corridor. By the time you catch up with her, Eddie is standing in front of the door with the flickering light coming from underneath it. And as you sort of reach out towards it, that door too swings open before you can even knock. And you you see within you a candlelit room. Candles on the mantelpiece above the fire, candles on little tables. There is in the center of the room a circular table with a heavy velvety tablecloth. There is in the center of the table a very ornate looking box. There are people sat around the table on sort of fancy looking, but again, slightly shabby chairs. There's 4 different people.
Sorry, Shamini, you've just done a Douglas Adams where you're like describing the room. By the way, there's also a horse in the middle.
Also, several people, several adults, presumably, looking at you.
No, they haven't noticed you come in.
They haven't noticed us coming in.
Yeah. It's very dark. And there is...
Hello.
They are, well, 3 of them are looking at the 4th. The 4th is stood and also humming. this sort of low hum, and the three of them are just sort of staring up, and they don't really notice the sort of creak of the door opening behind them.
A little girl saying, I'm here, I'm here. Two young men clambering through door. None of that registers for them.
It's all thematic in the movie, you know.
You know
It's
what?
like
Sure. One of them glances over, decides you're very boring.
Nathan said they've got urchin
Urchin
blindness.
Amazing.
Look,
Here's the thing, I don't even see urchins, you know?
an elderly man looks at you, decides you're not worth his time, and looks back.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, sorry. At the figure who is standing, sort of looking down. She is humming. She is wearing sort of draped with robes, a sort of like turban arrangement on her head. She is making this sound and grows louder and louder. Like the effect is somewhat ruined because she does have to like stop and take a breath so she can keep humming louder. As she is humming, she starts moving her hands towards the box in the center of the table. She lifts up the lid of this hinged lid of this box. It's kind of like quite wide and flat, and from inside there is a light. There is this very faint glow, and you see what looks to be some sort of faceted stone. Maybe it's a diamond, maybe it's glass. It's sort of like a gem of some kind. It's that kind of thing. Quite big, carefully nestled. We probably just see the top of it from where you are in this box. And as she opens the box and you see this, there is a rattling sound from the walls. The candles on the mantelpiece like flicker and shake. And the lady looking down with her eyes closed sort of rises this hum into a sort of open sort of almost singing, getting sort of like higher and higher, and then slams the lid of the box down and sort of collapses back into her chair. And there's some quiet murmuring around the table, and a young lady sort of picks up a goblet and sort of like passes it to the woman in the chair who, thank you, like sips a little bit of drink. As you watch, she sort of leans in and takes the hand of the old man and the young lady on either side of her, and they sort of hold hands with another young man who's sort of sat opposite. And you sort of faintly hear her say, I think that is all for today. The spirits, they are tired. They will not tell me more. We must try again to speak with them and connect. But for now, I think you will be happy with these messages from your beloveds on the other side. Thank you. All right. Oh, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much. Right.
Okay. Oh,
Do not
right.
mind these
That was a lot.
urchins as you leave.
What?
Do not mind these stinky little people.
I don't see any urchins. What are you talking about? There's no one here. It's just us.
We're just doing this in the background.
Background animation while the song's going on. Yeah.
And I think there's definitely like at this point, like as the sort of like atmosphere kind of like relaxes slightly. There's just sort of like she glances over and like double takes slightly to see like 3 random people in her seance.
What the hell are you doing?
She as you sort of like speak up quite loudly, I think it's like quite jarring. I think like everyone kind of like, jumps slightly in the atmosphere. And I think she says, yes, my next appointment, please, thank you so much. I will see you again. And she sort of like glares at you, but sort of like hurries the others out. And then finally you're alone in the room together. And she kind of like stands there sort of like staring at you. Like, what do you want? Have you come with delivery?
Hi, my name is Eddie. I'm here for the job. Mrs. Eleanor sent me.
Oh,
We're brothers.
Yeah. Is it?
Right.
Do you do juju? Because Miss Cleo told me about juju. She said it's very powerful, and you got to be mindful of it. To be respected. Is that what that was?
Well, it is. I draw on the traditions of distant lands. This magical stone, it comes from the east, and there it draws its powers from. That is not the point. The point. Okay, Freddy, you can come out.
Oh my word! Oh my word!
Out of the
Incredible.
chimney itself, just a very small boy just drops out of the chimney place.
Oh, you got a bloody chimney sweep up there? You know urchins and chimney sweeps don't get on.
PvP, let's go.
It's
a war as old as time.
This is the scene from Anchorman where all of the different sort of anchors
fighting off against each other. Absolutely.
Freddy is like a tiny boy, and he sort of like looks up at all of you like sort of fuck off, and
right, kid.
That was very rude.
Goes up to her and like holds out a hand. She like gives him a coin, and he heads off out the door.
Look, I'm not a snitch, but I personally think you should sort of dock his pay for foul language.
Bit rude.
Yeah, what's that all about?
This is not the job. The job is only when the spirits are communing, and you know it's.
So you can get more money out of the customers.
No, it is to help. It is to help create an atmosphere that is more conducive to the communion with the spirits.
So you can lie to them.
I do not. I have a gift.
So?
I do. I have a powerful. I do. There are many unbelievers, many disbelievers, those who doubt.
Also,
and
a
then
lot
they
of
come.
Scam artists in London.
Well,
lady, I've been dealing with the best of them, and you are not one of them.
I don't know if he's the best, but yeah, all right.
There is more to this world than you know.
Well,
there is
what?
Spirits on the other side, and they can talk. They can communicate. I have my luck. My luck has been down lately. I will give you that sometimes. In recent times, I've struggled to connect. I've struggled to find. I do not hear the voices like I used to hear them. You know, it was my fortunes have changed. I was burgled, and they took very many of my valuable items that helped me to channel the voices. And without those, you know, sometimes one has to be a little bit illustrative. One has to add on the details.
Give a bit of razzle dazzle.
Well, exactly, because.
So the job is you can't hear voices anymore. So you because of the things that you saw. Well, I mean, it's a big job, but I do hear voices, so I'm happy to take your job. Yes.
Eddie, don't talk about it.
That's not what she was asking.
I don't know. That is actually no. This is exactly what I need.
Yes.
Tell me, child. Do you hear the voice of my deceased cousin?
Hang on, Eddie. Before you answer this, how do you know Miss Eleanor? What do you actually want her for? Because this is not on.
No, this is this is merely the interview portion.
For what?
For a task, a very important task that I have. Thank you.
But what exactly is the task?
Right.
Just because if we know, then we can sort of
I will
decide whether or not
explain
we
to you
approve.
my requirements for this task. But I think you are exactly this kind of yes.
I don't like how she's honing in on Eddie. I am really not.
I'm gonna like whisper. I'm gonna like gesture to Eddie, like, we don't talk about the voices.
I don't know. Any other time, I would bring like family members to a job interview, and so but I'm just ignoring them. I'm like focusing on this lady so hard because I want this job now because they don't want me to have it.
Because we don't want you to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it. You said what is your old cousin twice removed?
No, don't worry about that. That is not the point. The point is, I have a customer.
Yeah.
Okay. She is a very fine lady. She's coming to me. She's saying, what is my departed husband wanting from me, from what to do with the house and the children, and what should we be doing? Now, as I mentioned, sometimes my channeling is missing certain accuracy. It's certain times it is not as strong, the connection to the spirit realm. So you have
an off day. Yes,
exactly.
Told about
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Now this lady, she is like your friend, your tall friend. She says, "I think you are a fraud. I'm very angry. That is not what my husband would say." She was a little upset. There was a very important there was a very important duck. So she says, "What should I do with the duck? It's not a real duck. It is
Sorry, no, wait, hang on a second. Sorry,
no, let her finish. I say, let her finish.
Yeah, all right. This is your interview, so I'm just gonna.
I will ask my advisors for follow-up questions once this is done. The duck.
Right.
Tell me about the duck.
I told her, you should sell the duck. This was the wrong. It made her very upset. That is not apparently what her husband would say. I misheard. I misheard the spirit. I tried to tell her, I mishear. He did not say sell the duck.
Something very similar, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Said what?
No, I'm not repeating it.
This stream is PG.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me. I need to tell you how with every fiber of my being, I am stopping myself from being like, Shamini, I go take the jewel. I need to tell you, I just need someone to know how much that instinct is fighting to be free in my soul.
You know what? I feel like as this conversation is happening and we're focusing in the dark, like she's very much like turned away from the table and the jewel. Like it's very much just there. The box, the lid of the box is closed, but it's just
I'm also just going to put it out there. I feel like Will has occasionally. Will doesn't love it when you do like big theft, but small theft. Will's kind of like, whatever. Sometimes it has to happen.
In that case, as they're getting more heated about this duck, I am just going to slip behind this woman and see if I can lift the jewel out of the box and replace it with something like just as heavy, so if she doesn't open it, she won't know it's missing.
I'll suggest you could put the bag of sweets in there instead.
Yeah, put the bag of sweets in there.
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay, I feel that this calls for a roll of some kind.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can aid by effectively distracting her?
You clearly already are.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Okay, should we say grit, maybe?
Yeah, I'm happy with grit. Yeah.
Alrighty, that's See how we
I was gonna say,
do.
what's the DC first, perhaps? Just so we...
DC, I'd
yeah.
say the DC is 10.
The DC is 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 7 on my D20. I'm going to spend 3 adversity tokens.
There you go.
Get the shiny
No,
stone.
wait, if the DC was 10, I take half. I'll get a D20
Yeah, all right.
if you'll let me.
So there's a long enough
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah, I would be
spur of the
asking all these
moment.
questions about the duck and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
There's a lot of
yeah.
duck-based questions going on. Oh yeah, no, you just took 10. You open the box. You take out this gem. I think you probably notice that there is a hole in the bottom of the box, and that there is sort of something else under there, which is maybe what was making the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you slip a bag of sweets in its place, and you put it in your pocket.
Yep.
Love it.
All those chocolate coins are gonna melt. It's like,
Yeah.
Such a waste.
He doesn't need to know.
so the duck has been sold.
No, the duck has not been sold. But you know what?
Hmm?
She does not believe me. She thinks I'm a fake.
No.
She thinks I was never talking to the spirit of her dead husband.
What?
She says she will tell all her friends, do not go there, do not go. You know, Madame M, she is not to be trusted. She does not really speak to the spirits. She's going to ruin me.
Going to ruin her.
It's not funny. She is going to ruin me. Why is this joke? I am lady living alone. I am making my own way. I am,
Independent
respected.
businesswoman. Yeah, okay.
I am independent businesswoman. I, the ability, people think, oh, you are a woman. You have the passive, soft, the ghosts, they will possess you, and
the birds speak to you. Yeah.
you are very the ghosts, spirits
Yes,
from the other
birds.
side.
Mm.
They believe me. You know
Right.
who else? You know who else would be believed?
Who?
You.
Me?
You are small.
Yes.
You are delicate. You have the innocence. You have the innocence to reach out with your pure soul to the spirit world, and to
Yes.
let those voices flow through you,
Yes.
to become a vessel.
That's all I ever want.
And if you were to say,
What?
to, let's say, a lady,
Yes.
oh, I sense that the spirit of your dead husband would like you to sell the dark because there's actually a really good reason.
Yes. Yes.
Which is, I don't know, make something up. But
Yeah, I can.
the point is,
yes.
I just spoke to Will. I'm like, gosh, really got a bold face, isn't it?
I mean, this is very flagrant. I know.
Sell the duck because he never liked ducks, but he likes birds.
oh, he liked the duck. That is what made her angry, that he liked the duck so much. Why would
Right.
he ever tell her to sell it?
Sell it. Yeah. Ooh, yes.
He would never say that unless there was a
Unless-
really good reason why he had to sell the duck. And then she will say, my gosh, this random child
Yes.
who has just happened upon, I have happened upon this child. It has nothing to do with Madame M. This child has just happened to be here and has spoken to my dead husband.
In my house, this child just happens to be in my house.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I was gonna
whatever.
say, so is the idea then that Eddie's just going to sort of hang about in the house and then just sort of
Lie.
like fall down the chimney like that boy from before and just kind of be like,
Yes.
oh, I just happened to be here and I just happened to also sort of commune with the spirits, and the spirits told me that she's correct about the duck.
Do not mention me. Do not mention me. Just mention the selling of the duck.
Right.
And that you are speaking to the spirit of a dead husband. I do not care where you are, how you are, but you must
Accidentally bump into her.
And
must-
what
yes.
happens when Beadle Skinner hears about your operation and comes knocking and already gets carried off to the workhouse?
It's not a matter for law. It's
That you're
legal.
scamming people.
I'm as I have established, I am not in fact scamming people because I actually do speak to spirits. Other people, they are scammers.
But do you though? Because what I'm
It's-
hearing, it sounds like you don't.
Well, sometimes they are not clear. That is a communication issue with the spirits.
You're telling Eddie right now, I heard with my ears, telling her to just make something up.
But she does not speak to spirits.
I speak to spirits, birds.
Oh my god.
Look,
that is good. You're
I
really
hold out my hand and I go, I'll do it, and I shake her hand.
Good. Good.
All right. Look. Eddie wants to do it, and look. It's not our place to tell her what she can and can't do, except for it is our place to tell her what she can and can't do. But is what I'm going to say. How much are you paying her?
Oh yeah, I shouldn't agree to a job before salary negotiations.
Yeah.
I
It will
remember.
depend on
Always
the.
negotiation first. Number one.
Yep.
It will depend on the level of success.
Okay.
Okay,
no, day rate.
No, yeah. Workers'
Day
right.
rate.
What is
She's
day
providing
rate?
you a service.
Service, regardless of
Yeah.
how well it goes. That's
Okay.
you're
Okay.
gonna pay
I
her.
will. There will be a base rate, a
There we
basic
go.
rate,
And then a sliding scale bonus.
and there will be a
system.
sliding scale bonus system.
There we go.
And a percentage of tips.
Percentage. Percentage.
There
of
will
tips.
not be a percentage of tips.
Well,
I
maybe
have
not.
to
a
make a
percentage.
living.
So we walk.
There will not be a percentage of tips. You are
But-
just
A loaf of bread, as well.
2 loaves of bread.
4 loaves of bread.
the base rate. You are all very. The base rate will be 6 pence plus 4 loaves of bread. And if you succeed and she comes back and she is convinced, I will pay you as well a shilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 pence plus 4 loaves of bread. And then if she succeeds, a shilling and a half.
You drive a bargain of some kind. I do not know. Is it hard? It is a bargain. There is a bargain being driven. I don't know why. This is. Yes, I agree.
I can do
This
it
is
tonight.
important. Okay. Yes. Whenever. It does not have to be tonight, but soon. Soon. Yes.
All right, so we
Okay.
need to know then where
Fine.
this lady lives, and so we can sort of orchestrate Eddie accidentally bumping into her, right?
Yes,
Or
I will
does it
give
need to
you-
be here?
No, not here. Can be nothing to do with me. You do not mention my name.
What's her
Alright,
address?
I will write it down.
Oh,
That is a fantastic
That's a great
idea.
idea. That is a good idea. I do like that. Yeah.
And she
Things
goes.
being written down. Remember that. Eddie. Good idea.
We're working on her letters.
Yeah.
sorry. Everyone else gets their job, but my 2 brothers are muscling in on my job.
Hey, we're getting you better pay. And we're better working conditions.
You negotiated. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Eddie, it's just look. His rights are really important to me. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Okay, fine.
What is the address?
Yeah, what's the
She
difference?
writes it down along with a name on a piece of paper, which you will read next time in chapter 2 of Urchins. Yay! Well done.
Oh, well
Um,
done.
We are going to do a very quick wrap up there. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to very quickly find out where you can find out more about our fabulous guests, where you can find out more about the RP Geeks before we finally do our lovely Patreon shout outs, which are my favorite part. But first off, Zack, who are you? Where did you come from? What?
Oh my god.
Zack FG?
You can find me all over the internet at ZackFG. That's ZackFG. And if you like me, you can go over to Realms of Peril and Glory, which is an actual play podcast full of beautiful sound design, gorgeous original music, and fantastic storytelling. Both Fiona and Shamini have been on before, and I'm sure we'll be on again. And hey, maybe in the future, Folarin will be on. Who's to
Yeah.
say?
Big bold
Ooh.
moves.
Big bold moves. That's me. And oh hey, if you're at UK Games Expo this weekend, say hi. There you go.
Mhm.
Lovely. Folarin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Folarin Akinmade, and you can find me at Akinmade on social media. That is often with hyphens, not hyphens, underscores
Underscores.
in between. A_king_made. _made. Sometimes it's not, because certain social media platforms
And it's
do
your job
not
to
allow
guess.
underscores.
Yeah.
Exactly. I believe Instagram _ blue sky, no underscores. Yeah, find me on there and find out what shenanigans I am up to, because they are many and varied.
Amazing.
Fiona, if I wanted to find out more about these RP uppergajeeks,
RPGs.
RPGs,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
where would I go?
Where would you go? Why, Shamini? First of all, you would be right on this channel, which is the YouTube channel. So I'm putting other things into chat. But yeah, the RP Geeks D&D, where you can find out all of our previous RPG systems and actual plays. We recently did a one-part of Call of Cthulhu, which is now transitioned to possibly another part in the future? ? But we've also done Plays in the Dark. We've done Daggerheart. We've done D&D. We've done loads of different things. So come check us out. All the stuff there. We've got a Discord as well, so please go check out. If you've enjoyed this, come over to the Discord where we talk about our lore drops. We've been a little bit chatty recently about all that stuff, and also just what do you think Shamini, big brain Shamini Bundell is planning for this for this Urchins series? So there's that. But also, you can come check us out on Blue Sky as well. Basically, we are RP Geeks, D&D, wherever you can find it. You can check out our link tree as well. That will be in the show notes, and with this will also be not only on YouTube, it's also going to be on podcast soon after. We try and do it like series together essentially, so you don't miss anything. But if you subscribe to us, give the video a like as well, give the pod a like. We very much appreciate it, and just spread the word about how amazing we are as Urchins, but also the amazing Shamini, who did such a cracking job dealing like wrangling us orphans to following a narrative, which is always good.
Narrative. Right now, Zack and Folarin, as you may recall, we have a section where we insert two of our patrons each episode into the world of the story. So I wonder if you might both start having a kind of think about that. And Fiona, I don't suppose you happen to have.
I am quickly counting how many we've got.
Yes, it's all about
I've got a
counting.
dice ready to roll if you
Well,
like.
It might be we might need to get a bigger dice size because we've had quite a few joining over the weeks, which we very much appreciate. So yes, you can come check us out over on Patreon. So that's patreon.com/RPGeeksDND. And basically you have access to our session zeros that we've done for this session. Just roll. Let's roll a d12, and I'll let you know who we get for it.
8.
8. I did counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the wonderful Debbie Harrobed 96. So yes, what are they in our world of Urchins?
I think that they are one of the people at the post office who was thrust into darkness and had to evacuate in terror as I heisted.
Hoist. I like that. Folarin, could you roll for me a d12 as well, please?
Yeah, I can. And that is a 5.
5. You've got Ellie Wilson as well. What about Ellie Wilson?
Ellie Wilson. I mean, obviously, Ellie Wilson is a frequenter of the Literature Society of the library. She is a sort of budding revolutionary who is making her way through a bit of Marx and communist thinking and literature pamphlets. Is that an anachronism? Have I anachronismed?
No, I just like the idea is that I'm here to speak about Marxism 101. I've read the first part of his pamphlets. That's what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, she's new. So she's kind of getting in there. She's reading some of the early pamphlets.
Marx was born in 1818. You are chill. This is fine.
Pamphlet was 48. You're good.
Oh,
excellent.
Nice.
There we go. So yeah, she's a revolutionary. She's out on the streets. She's pounding pavement. She's holding placards.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it a lot. And with that, I think we shall say goodnight and hope that you can join us next week when...
Well, we're not doing Urchins.
There's no Urchins, but what is there?
Well, we're hopeful that it'll be Blood in the Clock Tower next week. We've got that's what we're aiming for. But we are aware that UK Games Expo is happening next weekend, and so suddenly that people might drop out because understandably it's quite a big toll on people. But there will be something happening next week, whether it's Blood on the Clock Tower, or maybe we'll do some, I don't know, some Taskmaster-S type games. Perhaps maybe we'll do some Jackbox games. Well, there'll be something on for sure. Ideally Blood on the Clock Tower, but obviously we need numbers for that. But yes, come along for Blood on the Clock Tower. Where it'll be myself and maybe a co-storyteller or two. We'll do our best and see how we go. But yeah, we'll be back the week after with chapter 2, part 2 of Urchins.
Woo! We look forward to seeing you there.
Just because we haven't actually officially stated, this is the Urchin dance.
Yes, this is
you're
the
wondering
Urchin
what this
dance
is.
that we've been doing.
Podcast listeners,
We made it in the session 0, and we
I
kind
can't
of
explain it.
yeah. And
I-
also, whenever you say urchins, it has to be urchins.
Urchins!
Yeah, I'd audio describe what they're doing, but I don't know how.
Whatever
So
you
use
think,
your
podcast
imagination.
listeners.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
make it
doing.
up, and then when you're listening to it, I want you to do the urchin dance yourself. Film
Yes.
yourself doing it, and send it
Yes.
to the RP Geeks
Yeah.
Yes,
on
please.
social
Hashtag
media.
Urchins,
Hashtag urchins!
urchins,
Exclamation
exactly.
point.
Exclamation point. Absolutely.
which will
That-
obviously end the hashtag. It won't be included because it's
No.
a symbol, but
I
that
don't-
doesn't matter. It's
yeah,
the spirit of the
yeah.
thing.
That's fine. With that, we are done, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, listening.
Bye.
Bye,
Later.
guys.
Bye.